In celebrating a decade of DelmarvaLife, we want to take you back to when we learned of a world-famous magician who lived right here on Delmarva. In fact, he owns a little theater.
Yes, he does. The Dickens Parlour Theater is in Ocean View. Now, back in March of 2012, it was in Millville. That's when Lisa paid magician Rich Block a visit to witness the magical moments herself.
Stepping into the Dickens Parlour Theater in Millville is like stepping back in time. From Bella, Dickens' fortune-telling grandmother, to an original 1920 mutoscope showing a moving picture show, owner and magician Rich Block has created an enchanting, magical center.
This is for very small parties where we do intimate magic in an unexpected setting.
It's also where Rich keeps his magical time machine. More on that in a minute. Behind the parlor is where you'll find the Dickens Parlour Theater. That's where I learned about Rich Block's magical life leading up to building this stage. Rich began working in a New Jersey magic shop at age 7.
In those days, magic shops were really little meccas. They were the center of magic activity for professional magicians who would be performing, in this case, in New York City.
It was then he was invited to be the assistant to TV's magic clown, Dick Dubois. Great start to a magical career, but Block had to create a different path.
When I was very young, I did go to my dad and I said, I want to grow up and be a magician. And he said, you can't do both.
It wasn't until Block was contacted by this man, Orson Welles, that his magic put him back on stage. Block was developing magic tricks and effects for professional magicians. One of those magicians was Welles, who called Rich's office with some questions.
And I picked up the phone and I said, okay, who is this? And he said, it's Orson Welles. And I said, who? If you're not, yeah, it's a great impression.
Welles consulted with Block before making appearances on talk shows in the late 70s and early 80s. Their friendship turned into a partnership to develop a TV special.
But then he died, and so it never really saw the light of camera.
Block did get back on stage and spent the next 30 years performing around the country and the world. But he was ready to settle into a smaller venue.
The vision was to create a little theater and to have, I didn't want a big theater, I wanted an intimate little setting that bridged the gap between purely close-up, such as in the mini theater that we have over in our parlor, and a major stage. I didn't want that sort of space.
Now magicians from all over the United States journey to Millville. Some have left their marks on the backstage wall.
Most of our shows are not classified as children's shows. These are family shows. Everything we look for in our performers is that quality of being able to talk with an audience and not at it.
After the performance, the audience is invited back to the parlor for refreshments, possibly served by the invisible bartender, and to mingle with the performers. Which brings us back to the magical time machine. Rich offered to magically transport me from Millville back to the Salisbury studio.
Are you ready to go? All right, nice to have you here. Thanks. See you again, Lisa. Here we go. You notice the little lights start to blink. In a moment, Lisa should begin to be transparent. I think it's happening. And now she is gone.
Rich continues to entertain folks at the Dickens Parlour Theater at its new location in Ocean View. The new theater is much bigger. They're cram-packed with a schedule of entertainment. As a matter of fact, this Friday and Saturday, international award-winning master magician Chris Capehart is performing, and you can also catch musical groups and theatrical entertainment all the way through the year. It's on Good Earth Lane, just off Atlantic Avenue. Do you enjoy magic?
I do. I think it's fascinating, and I can never figure it out. You know
Right.
how everybody's like, oh, well, maybe this is the. I never have any idea.
Yeah.
I'm always. I love what he said too. What was it? The line that was, "You can do magic or grow up. You can't do both."
You can't do both.
Ah,
You
that was
can't do
cool.
both.